Welcome back to In the Garden. I'm here with Craig from Grange Co-op, and today we're going to talk about blueberries. Craig, I'm not too sure much about planting them, so what can you tell me about that first?
Yeah, so blueberries are a really incredible plant that do quite well where we live in our climate. So really popular plant. There is some stuff to them that's not the same as every other plant that you would plant. So the first thing is when you're picking out a blueberry, go by the bloom season. So there are some early season varieties, there's late season varieties, there's mid-season varieties. And why that's important is that the bloom times don't overlap for all those. So they have to pollinate each other. So if you have like an early season and a late season, they won't work together to produce fruit. So you need to have like an early and a mid, or a mid and a late together. So once you've kind of determined what kind of blueberries you have, and there's a big variety, a huge variety, we have many varieties of blueberries to choose from. But what you want to do then is kind of decide where you're going to plant those. So blueberries like to be here where we get some really hot days, maybe a little bit protected from the full sun. So they like a good amount of sun, but maybe not to be out in the scorching sun in the summertime. But then planting them, you want to be making sure that you're planting them with an acid fertilizer and an acid planting mix. The pH for a blueberry is really important, so you want to make sure and always be planting them with acid.
Okay, and then I see you have some plants, right? Are these different blueberry plants, like different families? How does
so what's work? So blueberries, there are a few different families. The ones here on my right are all northern highbush varieties. So these are all going to get a similar size. They're going to get something on the order of 5 to 6 feet tall, depending on the variety, but they're very similar. The growing habit's very similar. The main difference is when they bloom, and so like on a tag it will say that it's a late season or an early season. So those are important, like I said, for picking them out. The other thing you can do is the bushel and berry ones here on my left are plants that are better suited for doing in a pot. They don't get nearly as big. So if you have a container that you want to put them in, these ones are bred to do in a pot. They do really well in a homeowner environment.
Awesome. And then I just got one more question, with the fertilizers, which ones would be the best, or which ones would you want to utilize? Yeah,
so like I said, what you want to do is you want to be using an acid fertilizer for those. And so the one that I have here, actually it's the same kind of fertilizer you'd use on a rhododendron azalea camellia. That has the extra acid in it. If your pH is already low enough, you can do another one that more an all-purpose. But I always recommend going with the acid ones. So that really helps get your pH down where a blueberry likes it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Craig. And if you have any more information about blueberries, you can head to our website at KDRV.com or head to a Grange Co-op near you and find a specialist like Craig.